Before I became a landlord, I was a renter for a couple years. And being a renter was actually amazing in New York City because at that time I was living in a very middle class, lower class area in Brooklyn, which allowed me to build my financial base. Listen, when you live in a middle to lower class area, it actually will help you build wealth because costs are just cheaper. So having cheap rent was actually critical to building wealth. And that's what I don't understand about people who complain about landlords. Landlords like myself don't have a lot of money. We're not these rich mega millionaires. So we buy these cheap houses in cheap neighborhoods with cheap rent. Because in cheap areas, you can't charge tier one city rent. If I'm renting a 3-bedroom single family in Baltimore, it will only go for about 12 to 1400. It will not go for $3,000 like a 1-bedroom could get you in Manhattan, or 4,000 for that matter, right? So you have to understand, if you are a landlord investing in low income areas, you're actually providing low income housing because that's just kind of how it works. And that's a good thing. So instead, we need to be really thankful to landlords to exist, because otherwise, let's say if landlords didn't exist, then you would literally have only two options. One would be to own a house. The other option would be to live off the government. Without private landlords, without people providing housing as a service and product, you would have nowhere to live. So I'm grateful that I had housing, that I lived in a cheap area, that I had a landlord that had cheap housing available for me. And I just made sure to get roommates. Because if you get roommates on top of cheap housing, that's the real winner. If you get roommates on top of an already cheap place to rent, you're going to get rich in no time because now you're decreasing a big part of your fixed costs. So that is my suggestion to many young people starting off. Don't live in the luxury neighborhoods. Live in the cheapest areas with the cheapest rent and be grateful for your landlords. They're awesome.